Let's begin with our first parable about the lost son. Once there lived a man with 2 sons. One day, the younger son came to him and said,
"Father, could you give me my inheritance?"
Let me think about it.
So the man thought for a few days and decided to give his inheritance to his 2 sons and split it evenly between them. When the son received his share of the money, he thought to himself,
Now that I have so much money, I can move someplace else and have some fun. Then I can get back to working.
So he left with every little thing he had. He had no plans of returning. Now that he had grown up, he wanted to spend all the money and do whatever that he felt like. No one to tell him what to do. Before leaving, he did not even think about the things he left behind. He left a big farm with many hired men, his family, and most importantly, his old father, who had immense trust in him to give him the money. His father was very sad and disappointed in his younger son. He missed him too. While the younger son was gone, he spent all the money that he had received from his father. He spent it all on things he did not need, and he never thought of saving. Days went by, and the place where he lived became very poor, and so did he. There wasn't even enough food for everyone, and hence the food was expensive. It was difficult for the young boy to even buy food for himself, as he had spent almost all his money. Soon he was in deep trouble. He had no money, no house to live in, and also nothing to eat. So he got a job of feeding pigs. He was so hungry that he tried eating the food that was supposed to feed the pigs. One day, his master saw him eating the food for the pigs.
If I see you doing this again, you will surely lose your job.
That night, as he walked down the street to go back home, his stomach growled. He was so hungry. He saw a group of people walking down the road. He went up to them and asked for some money, but they too didn't have any to share. He went home and fell asleep on an empty stomach. Next morning, he woke up and thought to himself,
When I lived with my father, even the men who work in our farm had more food. And now, I am the one starving to death.
He decided to go home and seek forgiveness from his father. The son went back home, and the father was very happy to see him. He threw his arms around him and kissed him. He fell to his father's feet and cried,
Please forgive me, Father. I have sinned against God and against you. I don't deserve to be your son. Hire me as a laborer and I will work for you. I will start immediately.
The father was so happy to see his son, he wanted a grand celebration. He called out to one of his servants,
Quick! Bring the best robe and put it on him. Put a ring on his finger and sandals on his feet. Bring the biggest calf and kill him. Let's celebrate, for my son was lost and now he is found.
Meanwhile, the older son was working in the field. He heard the music and all the cheer happening back at his home. He called out to one of his servants and said,
What is happening?
Your brother is back home and your father is celebrating his return.
The older brother was very upset hearing this. He refused to go home and be a part of the celebration. Hearing that his older son was upset, the father went to talk to him.
What is the matter, son? Why are you not coming for the celebration? Your brother is home after so long. I have been working for you all these years and have always obeyed you. Yet you never had any celebration for me. Now my younger brother has come home after spending all the money you gave him, and you hold a party for him? But my son, you are always with me and everything I have is yours. We had to celebrate and be glad for your brother, for he was lost and now he is found.
So through this story, what Jesus tried to explain to his followers was that God is exactly like the Father. This is how God would be forgiving to people if they ran away from Him and did things which made God unhappy.
And also that God never gives up on us, and He will always forgive us if we truly change and repent for our mistakes.